Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now.
Right 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 now.
Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Welcome to another daily writing motivation stream. If you're looking for consistency, accountability, community, or maybe just another crazy writer out there who just likes every single part of the writing process, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the community. I'm Kaufman. I'm on a mission to help writers with the entire process of writing a book or writing a script or telling their story. So today we're going to be doing one full writing sprint. I got just under an hour to get some writing in. So make sure to stick around. We're going to try to really push through our second writing sprint of the week. I'll be starting in just a little bit. And yeah, we're going to see what shenanigans we can get into this week. Hello, my friends. I was like, I'll let everyone hop into the chat first. Since I'm only doing one writing sprint today, I'll kind of say hello to everyone before we start the writing sprint. I'm like, okay, what is my expectation of myself today? What do I expect of this writing sprint? I expect to not get distracted. All right, that is the goal. That's my intention I set for the day. I am not going to get distracted by anything other than scarecrows and pixies and bears. Oh my. Hello, my friends. Courtney, great to see you. Devin, welcome. Hope the storytelling is going well. And Penumbra, always a pleasure to have you in here, my friend. Corey, like everyone, don't forget to vote for the pledge in the Discord writing chat. I was like, yeah, everyone, don't forget. I was like, I wonder how many people voted for that so far. Let's see. We have, 17 votes. Nice. People like those pledges. I'm curious to see. Ooh, that's so exciting. Yeah, the pledge is actually super cool. I feel like we should do like easy writing challenges like that more often. Interesting. Giving me ideas over here. Something to think about for our Monday update streams. Yo, Neil in the house. Welcome. Davin, you're setting up the next scenes for the second half of your book. Nice. I feel like everyone's making so much progress, and I feel like I'm making such like short process in the grand scheme of my epic fantasy. I'm like, is anybody else out there working on an epic fantasy category? Like, I feel like Scarecrow is probably the epic fantasy. When I think about breaking up books and books into what the categories are, obviously flash fiction, generally 1,000 to 1,500 words. We extended it to 2,000 for our contest, and then go into the short story range. And I want to say short stories is generally considered on average about 2,000 to, I believe, 10,000 words. And I think it could go about 20,000 words, kind of give or take. And then we go to novella, which is generally around 10,000 to 40 or 50,000, depending on who you ask. And then we go to the novel, which is, of course, I think 40,000 is like the common acceptable range, 40,000 to about 150. I think 150,000 is the cutoff for the novel category, but it's kind of debatable depending on the genre. Romance, your books tend to be a little shorter. Fantasy, your books tend to be longer. Mystery tends to be a little shorter. Young adult tends to be somewhere in the middle. It depends on the genre. And then epic length tends to be 150,000 plus. So yeah, it's kind of what's on my mind today as I'm trying to cut down in Scarecrow, and somehow the word count just keeps going up. I'm like, too much descriptions, Kaufman. You know what? But you know what? I started looking from the beginning to kind of prepare myself for the next draft. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to save my second draft copy and then just go through the third draft with more of like a editing down on adjectives. So I think I'm actually all right with that. I know I've added a lot for the second draft, but I think I created a really strong baseline. I think the third draft is very much going to be focused on get rid of unnecessary extra descriptions that aren't pertinent to the core reading experience, plot, character development with some world building. So, thanks so much, my friends. I appreciate that. Like, let's see, where are we? Oof, Penumbra, stay, Mom Maggie, stay safe. I'm seeing those your weather streams and tornadoes. All we got is suns and clouds over here. I know, Devin. For anyone who doesn't know, Devin's talking about the, I assume you're talking about the Faded Fantasy Anthology. So for everyone who submitted to the Faded Fantasy competition, submission deadlines closed this last weekend, and our judges, you guys are really testing out our judges. Let me tell you, the yeah, there's going to be some tough competition. And anybody who makes it to the semifinalist category will have a chance to be in the Faded Fantasy Anthology. So you're going to get another published author credit just by being, just by hitting that semifinalist category, like the second round. And then you also get to have a chance to be showcased in the Faded Fantasy live stream competition. So definitely looking forward to that. Very, very excited, Devin. Like you and me both. I'm like, ooh, it's going to be so fire. I get to do Faded Fantasy, and then I get to hop right back into the AWC. So I'm like, June is going to be a month of so much fun. I love it. Love it. Hey, what's up, Jenna? Thanks for hopping in the stream, my friend. Welcome. Let's see, Courtney, I finished a chapter already, so it sounds like we're making some progress. Oh, Devin, are you doing epic fantasy as well? Nice. I was like, I feel like I'm like, maybe I just need to embrace that Scarecrow's gonna be like a 200,000 word book and cater to only epic fantasy fans. But I still kind of want to hit like I was like, I feel like if it's too long, I'm going to lose too much of a mainstream appeal. Ooh, Penumbra. You're like, I'm working on the rewrite of Werecrow and Werewolf. It's already 120,000, but there is an entire B plot line that I need to add. I'm just gonna add another 20. Yeah, so it sounds like you might be hitting the same challenge I am, especially if you start pushing into that 150,000 word range. Yo, Tiara in the house. Welcome, Tiara. Hopefully getting some time to be able to get some writing in. Oh, that's so cool. I know, Devin. I believe, Devin, you have the first two books of your series are out and published. If I'm not mistaken. I believe Devin's the first two books of her series is out in the world, out in the universe. Well, Mama Maggie, glad you're staying. Glad you are safe. Hopefully, your family is going to be safe as well. With tornadoes, that's like so out of my purview. I've never seen a tornado except what I've seen in movies. But I also grew up in the mountains and in the snow. So, like snow days, blizzards, whiteouts, like almost dying in the middle of a blizzard. Like that has been a very real reality for me. So, but yeah, like because I've just never lived in an area where tornadoes would be a thing. It's just like such a different type of like environmental thing for me. Like flooding is nothing I've ever dealt with. I think living in the mountains are big two environmental concerns where either weather like winter or fires, obviously during the summer. Oof, man, David, it's like hot. Oof, it's way too hot. I was like, I'm gonna stick to my snowstorms. Thank you very much, so I can play with my snowmen. Aw, I know. Yep, we're going to announce semifinalists on Sunday, so everyone is super excited. I'm sure everybody is very eager to know if they made it to the semifinalist category. I'm just looking forward to the live stream now. I want to see like all the stories read out loud. We have some really, really tough competition. Like you guys are definitely making it hard for sure. Nice. Yeah, but Mary, I know you've been working on yours for a little while. I know you've been working on yours for some time. I'd be really curious to see, Mary, how far your story gets or like what that word count is once you get through the draft. Because I feel like with like this story, the way it's shaping up, my guess is like you're probably going to hit that like 50 to 70K range. Unless you're thinking it's like a novella. Nice. TR, like, yeah, they officially switched you to days, so you'll be writing more in evenings now. Nice. So you might be able to join us for some more of the writing sprints. That's actually really, really awesome. Like, well, I mean, at least as long as you like that, right? Maybe a blessing in disguise. More writing for me in the evenings is always a win. Ah, got you, Devin. So, Devin, I know your book you said 1 is out and published, 2 and 3 will be a dual release because of cliffhanger. Well, that's actually pretty smart. That's not bad to be able to time the books out pretty closely. I'm curious, Devin, are you planning on publishing the book 2 and 3 at the same exact date, or are you going to be spreading them out within like a month of each other? I know when I do Scarecrow, I'll probably spread out the maybe the types of the types of the formats. Mm. Yeah, when I was in San Francisco is definitely not tornado area. San Francisco is more a little bit more rain, a little bit more hail to certain extents in the time that I lived in San Fran. Oof. Yeah, well, everyone stay safe. If you live in an area where you're dealing with any type of environmental concerns, stay safe. Stay safe, everyone. And then, like me, when it was like raining debris from the sky, when I was in the middle of near a very a fire, I'm just like, okay, well, how am I going to learn from this experience so that way I can take some storytelling elements into my world? And by the way, St. George, welcome to the stream. I always love having new writers in the community. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, follow and subscribe. This is a writing community for all styles of writers, all genres, all formats. We have hit 500 consecutive writing streams. So if you're looking for consistency, accountability, we got you covered. And the only thing that you got to do, you just got to show up to the streams when we're here. I'll be here every day. And you guys can join us in the process. But let's see, you had a good question, St. George. So you said, question, I keep restarting my first chapter because I keep either stressing about the competence in my intro or get bogged down by new ideas. Any advice that could help me? I really want to make progress. All right, let me make sure I got this. Stress about competence or get bogged down by new ideas. Okay, so St. George, this is what my recommendation would be. My guess, and you could of course add more details if I'm missing it. My guess is that this is probably your first draft of your chapter. You want to ask yourself, what is the goal of a rough draft? Like, what's your goal? Now, a lot of the times writers get like, and especially newer writers, I'm not saying you're a newer writer, but a lot of newer writers I've seen get into this idea of this almost like over perfection of like, okay, this style has to be at a certain point for me to feel good enough to move on to the next section of the book. But here's the thing. The goal of the rough draft is just to get out the story that's in your head, to get out the things that work, the things that don't work, because what's going to happen throughout the whole book process is you're going to end up tweaking and changing things as you go. If you spend too much time on the first chapter, what might happen is you'll spend so much time in the early book and then something will happen in life. You'll get discouraged from writing and then you won't finish the book. There's a reason that 97% of writers never finish their first book. So my suggestion is make that writing process as simple as possible. Get that first draft out. If like you're not happy with the first chapter, rewrite it a couple times, right? Get through it. If there's something that doesn't make sense, create an outline. Give yourself a list of notes, like, hey, I'll fix this on the next draft, right? So at least you're still pushing yourself to keep making forward movement. Now, for myself, I've been writing my entire life, so I'm able to weave characters, stories, and plot lines a little bit more smoothly together. So when I'm having problems, if it's like a major rewrite, I will rewrite the chapter that I'm working on maybe 1 or 2 times. If I feel like I have to rewrite a chapter more than 2 times during a rough draft, or if there is just something that makes no sense, I'll do it. But if it's going to take me too much time, I add it to a list and I'm like, all right, this is going to be a problem for draft number 2 because I just need the core draft. Because by the time you get to the end of the draft, for all you know, you're going to think of that ingenious idea that's going to help influence a better version of the first draft of the book, right? So we want to get the core story out. And I hope that, yep, that's my advice. Let me know if you have any more follow-up questions, but I hope that helps, my friend. We've all been there, though. Trust me, we have all been there. Starting a new story and like, is this first chapter good? So definitely get it, right? And enjoy the process. And I think that's another thing, right? Recognizing that writing a book takes time. Maybe it takes some people can write a book in 6 months. Some people write a book in 20 years, right? So recognize that a book takes time. You have to be kind with whatever your lifestyle is, and you'll get there. And I think being part of a community like this one helps you feel a little bit more motivated on times where you're feeling down, or if you have questions. We got you. We're here for you, my friend. Always good to have other writers in the community. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Rachel? I saw you hopped in. Let's see. Yeah, I know you guys were talking about Washington. I was like, I think I might end up in Washington at some point. I've always wanted to. That was a state I've always wanted to explore a little bit more. Adrian in the house. Adrian, hope the recovery is treating you well, my friend. Speaking of one of our fellow book club co-hosts, I hope everybody's ready for the Read Now book club this Saturday. This Saturday, the Read Now book club, which is a book club for writers. We are currently in Romance Month. We're going to be discussing Emma Bennett's book, Her Perfect Hero, this Saturday. So make sure that if you haven't read the book, plus it's a short one. It's not even a long one. So make sure to come join us for this Saturday's discussion for the Read Now book club. It's going to be super awesome. Courtney and Adrian are my fellow wonderful co-hosts, and we're going to be exploring the book. We're going to be interviewing Emma about her process, and it's going to be quite a fun time, my friends. It's going to be quite an adventure. All right. Well, I looks like, let's see, what do we got? Okay. I finally got some words down for today for the first time since the accident. Adrian, I think you have every right to be a little behind. I think you do have every right to be a little behind. So completely understandable, my man. But glad you're like finally able to kind of get those creative juices flowing again. All right. But numbers like Mr. Darcy makes it worth the read. So if anybody needs to know more about Mr. Darcy, you're going to want to make sure to read Her Perfect Hero. And I know I am enjoying it. I'm not even a romance reader. All right, my friends. So on that note, let's get into a writing sprint. Now, because I spent the better part of 20 minutes talking, I have enough time, 20, 30, 40, 50. I got enough time for a 30-minute sprint with y'all. So we're going to do one writing sprint. Y'all know the drill. I'm going to throw up the music. I'll join you in the chat if you want to chat or have questions. And Kaufman is going to try to stay focused on his scarecrows and pixies and bears. All right. Can I get my heroes out of the Colosseum of the Last? I guess I'm about to find out. So come join us. I got my writing software all set up. We're going to be doing a 30-minute sprint. And I think I'm all ready. So let's see what we can get into today, and let's do it. So whether you are brainstorming, writing, editing, revising, author branding, procrastinating, or maybe you just want to come hang out, come join us because it's time to write now. All right, writing sprint done. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hopefully, we were able to make some solid progress. You know, got that one writing sprint for the day. I was like, okay, I'm wrapping my head around this section. I'm having to make some story adjustments to what I had done originally. So, but I mean, it's all good adjustments, but all the work to do. Nice, Devin. Actually able to get your word count goal. Nice, nice, nice. I am definitely looking forward to when I'll be able to change my goal to a word count over a amount of time for sure. Nice, Devin. I remember you said that you played the violin, right? Cheers. I played the violin for what was that? Played for about 20 years, but I'm a little rusty. I haven't played lately, but I used to teach violin. It was fun. It's definitely fun when I'm able to pull out the fiddle and mess around with it. Nice, Lynn. A final polish and a coat. Oh wow! So it sounds like you're almost done with your co-working project, Lynn. That's awesome. Oof, man! Starting new projects is always such a fun endeavor. So, all right, I feel pretty good though about our everything we got going on in the community. Nice, Jenna. You're like working on your nonfiction draft before going to book 6. Rereads to the main fiction series I'm working through. Wow, nice. You're on book 6. Good for you. Good for you, my friend. That's awesome. I was like, I feel like I need to be making some progress. That's awesome that you made it so far into your series. I'm like really, really happy for all you guys. I feel inspired by everyone here. You guys are all making some awesome progress. And on that note, I can do a really quick shout out. So, for anybody who's involved in the Read Now Book Club, I am so happy to announce real quick that we have officially chosen June is going to be fantasy month. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Oh, no, you don't want that. It goes hand in hand with our with Faded Fantasy, right? So June is going to be a purely fantasy genre month. So for June, anybody who wants to read a fantasy book, go recommend a fantasy book now. You can drop one in the comments or go drop it in the Right Now Discord under the Read Now channel. Essentially, what we're going to do is we need your recommendations. You can recommend any fantasy book that is done by an indie author. I think our rules is that it can't be a bestseller. And then I think 150,000 words, I think, is the gap. I'm gonna have to, Courtney, you'll remind me what the page count cutoff is. But we need your recommendations for fantasy books. Which fantasy book do you want to read for the month of June? We want to hear from you. Which fantasy books you got till over the next couple of days? We'll make some recommendations and we'll get to embark on a pure fantasy adventure for the Read Now Book Club. So we'll be talking about that more, and then make sure that you don't miss out this Saturday for our romance book club discussion with the amazing author Emma Bennett. So Saturday is going to be super fun. And on that note, that's all that I got for you today, my friends. Tomorrow is Right Now Writers Group. So make sure that if you want to hop on stream with us, we always want writers to join us. Our Wednesday night writers group, same time, same place, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. Eastern, as we hop on with the other writers in the group and we chat about all things writing. Maybe we try to get some writing in. So come join us. We'll be back tomorrow. And that is what I got. Thank you all for joining me today for a writing sprint stream and some great conversation. Hopefully you're able to keep that writing vibe up. And if you don't want the conversation to end, go hop over in the Discord. And that is all I got for you. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers.
Right now.
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 Because it's time to